Chapter 9. The world begins to change in subtle, unsettling ways. Alliance brings new dangers. The quiet forecast, where the new signals grew. They did not return to Rivermouth City immediately. The valley had become something like a frontier, not between nations, but between philosophies. Scouts from distant settlements began arriving within days, drawn by messenger birds and strange atmospheric phenomena visible even from coastal plains. Some came out of fear, some out of curiosity, some because the ground itself had begun to whisper. Amber circuitry now pulsed beyond the original basin, not in aggressive straight lines, but in branching organic patterns that followed watersheds and root systems. Rivers glowed faintly at night. Hills hummed in low harmonic tones when storms gathered overhead. The ancient grid was learning the landscape as it had become. Mara watched this transformation with uneasy fascination. She spent long hours walking the valley perimeter, mapping where light emerged and where it faded. Sometimes she would find entire clearings illuminated by delicate latticework just beneath the soil surface. Circuitry, adapting its roots around ancient trees rather than cutting through them. Other times, she would discover scars in one northern ravine. A dormant energy conduit had reactivated too violently, flash boiling groundwater into clouds of toxic steam. The surrounding forest stood gray and skeletal, leaves crystallized into brittle glass. Coexistence, she realized, would not be gentle. One afternoon, a caravan arrived from the inland plateau, carrying a man half conscious from exposure to electromagnetic storms. His skin shimmered faintly with static discharge patterns. When he finally spoke, his voice trembled with awe and terror. "There are lights walking," he whispered, "not machines, not weather, something between." Over the following weeks, similar reports spread. Fields where luminous shapes drifted at dusk, like slow, migrating animals. Old transport causeways that lifted themselves inches from the earth before settling again. Ruined megastructures that emitted deep tones capable of calming or panicking entire settlements, depending on the phase of their oscillation. The planet was becoming a hybrid, ancient infrastructure, awakening not as empire, but as ecosystem, unpredictable, experimental, occasionally catastrophic. Ilian began drafting new maps, unlike any before. Instead of borders and trade routes, he charted zones of dialogue, regions where human activity and machine resurgence overlapped in shifting gradients. His inked margins grew dense with annotations. Circuit bloom seasonal, signal migration corridor. Unstable sky above this latitude. History is no longer linear, he told Mara one evening as they studied the valley lights flicker under gathering clouds. It's becoming tidal, she understood. Civilization would advance and retreat in rhythms set partly by human choice and partly by ancient systems rediscovering their purpose. The resilient world had gained powerful allies. Weather prediction arrays, stabilized river flows, revived agricultural substrates, but also new threats no generation had prepared for. That night, the turning giant moved again, not toward the coast, toward the mountains, its ring angled upward, reflecting moonlight into a vast pale halo visible across half the continent. Wind harps sang in distant settlements as the signal shifted frequency, calling to relic structures buried beneath snow and stone. Mara felt both pride and dread rise together. They had not stopped the past, they had invited it into the future. And now the future was beginning to answer. Across the valley,